my name is Jason JROCK Houston, and you guys are listening to an interview tonight being done for Chaotic Riffs. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticriffs.com, and tonight it's my great pleasure to be speaking with legendary metal singer Jason McMaster. Of course, we're talking to him tonight about his band Dangerous Toys, but he's also in several other projects such as Broken Teeth, just to name a few. So how are you doing tonight, Jason?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Now, as you can tell, I'm a bit of a fan of yours, and like most people, I first came aware of you back, the 80s when Dangerous Toys first broke out, and I was reading a little bit up on your bio on your website today to prepare for this, and it was saying that like around 1980s when you came to Austin, Texas. I was wondering, where are you originally from?
I was born down in Corpus Christi.
Oh, okay.
And moved north a few hours around the age of 17, and started playing music down in Corpus just with school friends and stuff, and had a couple of little garage band type things, and moved to Austin and started a new band and was kind of carrying on doing the same thing, backyard parties, stuff like that, and met some, bands kind of come and go when you're young, so I met some guys who were real serious and wrote their own material, and that band was Watchtower, and I ended up pretty much cutting my teeth as a singer in Watchtower, and I watched those guys. They were excellent musicians at such a young age. The average age was about 17 or 18 at the time.
Yeah, I actually heard some of the Watchtower stuff, and it's
I really did learn a lot from those guys, and that lasted about 7 or 8 years before the Dangerous Toys thing even happened.
Yeah, and let me ask you, because Watchtower, I've heard some of that stuff, and it like kind of predates a lot of the thrash stuff. I mean, you guys were one of the first bands that did that type of music, and again, I was reading on your bio today, Jason. It was saying that, which I've heard, I've heard people like Eddie Trunk and a lot of fellow musicians cite that band, even though like Watchtower is not as big, say, as Dangerous Toys or even Broken Teeth. Why do you think it's had that kind of underground cult following, or where it, for a band that really didn't reach that level of success, so many people knew about it?
Well, it was big in the underground back in the early 80s when the way that you found out about most bands that were, unsigned or, as it were, as I already said, called underground. Part of a scene kind of a thing. Tape trading and, this is pre-internet, of course. Pre-digital age. It was the Yellow Pages and, 50-cent gallon of gasoline. You know what I mean? So it's probably cheaper than that. I don't even remember, but you networked on a different level, and phone bills were big, but gas was cheap. And ticket prices were cheap, and so there was ways to play around in your state and do tours and things like that were inexpensive, and those young people who were writing their own music sort of kind of created where everything is now, and I think it's easy to forget that. But Watchtower being an influential band goes back to what I was saying about Billy White and Doug Keezer and Rick Colaluca just being such good open-minded musicians about it wasn't that they were just trying to play it faster than everybody, or they weren't trying to make the most technical music in the world, but they did play faster than anybody, and they did write the most technical music in the world there for a number of years, all before the age of 21. It was pretty amazing for me to be a part of.
Wow, yeah. And I was kind of interested to learn that you started out as a bass player, and were you always a singer as well, or did you become a singer later on in your career?
Well, I started playing bass when I was about 12 years old, and when I got to Austin, I was a bass player, but the project I had started went with friends when I got to coming in saying they were singers, and we would kind of smirk at them, because we weren't even singers, me and the drummer and whoever else. We weren't even singers, and we knew we were better than the person that was coming in saying that, telling us all week they were a singer. So it was easy to figure out that, if we wanted a certain caliber of vocal, then we were going to have to do it ourselves. So me and the drummer ended up singing, doing the vocals, and about 6 months later, we lost a guitar player in that project, and I was looking around and got some phone numbers and called around, and one of the people that I called was Billy White, the guitar player for Watchtower.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He said he actually heard of me, and he heard of the band that I was in at the time, Fallen Angel, and he invited me over, and we sort of hit it off. And long story short, I could go on forever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
A week later, he had asked me to join Watchtower as their lead singer.
Oh, wow.
So it was strange. Yeah, it was a strange turn of events for me, because they already had a bass player who was, looking as good as Geddy Lee on bass.
Wow. So, yeah, what was that like for being a guy that kind of had a safety net, that you were a bass player for most of your life at that point. Some being the front man, being the guy that everybody was looking at, and just kind of
it was strange.
Yeah.
It was like nothing to hide behind.
Yeah. And now, wow.
It was completely bizarre, but I was still very young, so I totally was not afraid to at least try, to mimic my favorite singers and stand the way they did, and like I said, I was a teenager.
Yeah. And you kind of grew into what you became, and now
you mold. You just follow trends.
Yeah.
You don't. A lot of people think they're too cool to admit to what we do as human beings.
Yeah.
Monkey see, monkey do. You follow trends, and it's just how it goes. And eventually, when it comes out on the other end, you hope that you're not plagiarizing or cloning, too badly all of your major influences.
Yeah, well, see, that's one thing I've always admired you. Even like with the Dangerous Toy stuff. You obviously got your influences, but like especially with Dangerous Toys, you kind of had your own thing going. You had your own original kind of sound going. You didn't sound like every other band out there, and that's one of the things I think people have always admired about you as a singer and as a band.
Well, thanks. I think that we did a pretty good job of on one side of the coin we got real lucky.
Yeah.
On the other side, I feel like we did a good job and learned how to write songs. By the end of the recording of the first Dangerous Toys record, I felt like we were still learning, still very green, but we'd also learned a lot from the producers and just managers, and taking in their opinions, and we were just a bunch of kids out of Texas, and all of a sudden we're working for the big machine, and it was it's pretty wild ride.
Yeah, like you said, it was a different world back then. That you still had magazines like Circus and Hit Parader and Metal Edge and all that, and MTV. You guys were all over MTV and radio. That must have been just a totally amazing ride for you.
It was an amazing ride, and you have to remember, it's hard to. When you're in the moment, it's hard to remember that it's all going to be fleeting.
Yeah.
Surely this is not going to. Ferris wheel goes around and around, but it stops and you get off.
Yeah.
So
I'm going back.
It's hard to remember that. It's hard to have consecutive hit records where the material that you're writing might be of the time and who you are as a young man, but as you get older, you can't really sustain on whatever it is you're writing about. It's got to be a little bit. It's got to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to write. Opera. Go from writing pop rock to opera. I'm not saying that, but there's it's got to give somehow, and so that's just called growing up. That's just life.
Yeah, and so going back to the beginning of Dangerous Toys, I was curious, was that a band you formed, or were they an existing band and you were brought in as a singer?
No, just like Watchtower, it was an existing band with another singer, and I replaced someone.
Wow. And see, that's an amazing thing, because, that's a lot of people may not even realize that, like you said, there's a previous singer. And interesting thing, Jason, after all these years, you kind of made that band yours. I mean, you're the one guy that's kind of been the consistent thing all these years, so I got to give you credit for that,
Well, I like music and I like singing, so, it's going to be hard for me to not do that.
Yeah. And, let me ask you, one thing I was kind of interested in, as great as the music was, I loved all the album covers with the clown and that. Who came up with the idea for the clown? Was that somebody at the record label or somebody in the band into, like, doing art and stuff?
No, I had an old friend from San Antonio that I'd known from the Watchtower days who used to draw logos and flyers and stuff in the old underground scene, for a lot of heavy metal bands down in San Antonio. And his name was Tommy Pons.
Uh-huh.
And he's done some comic book work. And anyway, I called, my manager at the time, where the record was kind of done. We needed some artwork and the logo and everything. And he was sending me, and the manager was sending me sketches of Jack in the Box clown, scary monster.
Wow, yeah.
Whatever, kind of thing. We were starting to get a vibe, going of what we sort of thought we might want.
Yeah.
And it was crap. The stuff that the guy from, the manager, my new manager, he's sending me crap. So I've got to find the balls to tell this guy, Los Angeles big-time rock manager, I've got to find the balls to go, this sucks. But I did, and I go, I can make a phone call right now, and in 3 days have something sent out to you that blows all of this away.
Yeah.
And so that's exactly what happened. I called Tommy Pons and told him what was happening and what I needed, and literally 3 days, a week later, my manager was like, "You're right. You got me. You got me. These guys, there's no comparison as to what this guy can do." So.
Yeah, because when people think of Dangerous Toys, they automatically think of Jason McMaster, those album covers, the clown, and those great music videos you guys did. I was curious, like, how was the relationship with you and the other guys in the band? I mean, did they ever have a problem with kind of that you became the face of the band, the one that did all the interviews and that? The guy that everybody wanted to talk to?
I mean, it's kind of like this. It's, if you want to be the singer, you're gonna be up front.
Yeah.
That usually means that you're kind of the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
You got to talk to the audience in between songs and put on the show and that kind of a thing. So you want it, you got it. You better be, you got to be careful what you ask for. You just might get it. So. And
then I was curious, like,
that's the only answer I got for that.
Oh, okay, cool. And like when some of the guys started to leave, was it just process that because they had other things going on in their life, or was that kind of when things started?
No one really left. I mean, it's the same. It's been the same band since '94.
Okay.
And the four guys that play on the first record are still in the band.
Oh, okay, that's great. Because I know for after those first three albums, the grunge scene kind of came in like a lot of other bands, and things started to go south. But for, like you said, since '94, I know the band tours quite regularly, and you guys have some big dates coming up. One of which is you're going to be playing here in Los Angeles at this show that Ricky Rackman's putting together. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Well, I know it's a festival, and
a lot of those. Yeah, I mean, a lot of those bands that we're playing with on Ricky's thing, we've either toured with, or we've toured with LA Guns, we've toured with Faster Pussycat, we've done some odd shows, at least one show or two shows with Bullet Boys, You know, we've done a couple shows with Bang Tango.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, we were recording our records in Los Angeles while the Cat House was alive and well and a working nightclub out there. So we were actually part of that thing. And you don't think of us as a part of that thing because we're from Texas. But a lot of the bands that we play with out there, they know that we are part of that because we were playing in and around and working in Los Angeles for, you know, 3 and 4 and 5 months at a time, in between tours, recording videos out there, etc. Just it's where our manager was and everything, you know. So
well, that's great, and there's still such a huge demand for a band like Dangerous Toys. I was curious, though. Obviously, like I was saying, you're involved in a dozen other projects, but have you ever had any desire to you know, go out there and like do another new album, or does it just make sense for you guys to do the big festivals and that these days?
Well, I think that writing new material with the other bands that I'm involved in has been a lot of fun and helps me become a better songwriter, sort of personally, instead of writing for and with the same people all the time. I mean, I'm writing songs for this project and that, and then I'm writing songs for this project and that project, and it'll be 3 totally different kinds of songs, you know.
And I gotta tell you too, Jason.
That's
you know,
really cool for me. Maybe that's a guilty pleasure, but
no, you know, I gotta tell you too, as a guy that's a fan of yours, you know, like if you were to retire today and never step on stage again, you built a huge, you know, legacy for, you know, for yourself. I mean, you got besides Dangerous Toys, you got Broken Teeth, you got Evil United, Igniter, the Watchtower stuff, you know, and I understand you're involved in like a Kiss and a Judas Priest tribute band. So I mean, you're doing all these different things, and like you said, none of the 2 bands sound alike. I mean, Broken Teeth to me has kind of a AC/DC vibe, and everything else you do, it sounds different, and I think that's cool for your fans as well. It keeps it fresh, and they always have new product coming out from you.
Yeah, I like to think that it's good to be busy and you know, try to write different kinds of songs all the time. I've written a couple of Christmas songs, you know, and they're not heavy metal Christmas songs. They're actually, you know, songs Grandma would like, kind of shit, you know. And you know, I like old sort of storyteller, you know, Willie Nelson type stuff, early Elton John. I mean, those are influences of mine too that no one would even know. Maybe one day those influences will come out other than just in a fucking Christmas song. But you know, who knows? Who knows what's going to really go down with my songwriting? You know, I'm not a little kid anymore either, so it's kind of. I'm glad that I have a body of work for people who like rock and metal to choose from, but I don't really intend on stopping.
Well, that's great.
It's just a little slower now. That's all.
Yeah, that's great. And you know, again, you know, going back to Dangerous Toys for a minute, I gotta say, even you know, the albums you put out of Dangerous Toys, the body of work, it still stands up today. I mean, are you surprised that those albums have stood the test of time? Because I mean, it's really quality stuff. You know, I gotta say.
There's a lot of records that came out in that as they call it, the class of '89. You know, that year, 88, 89. You could say 87, 88, 89. I think it was 87 when Appetite for Destruction came out. You know, there's on the coattails of Appetite for Destruction, there was a lot of groups that got record deals that that lost their record deals real quick, barely got to make a second or a third record, and if they did, no one knew about it, you know, and then the whole scene changed, and a lot of bands lost their deals, and you know, there's a lot of bands who just aren't playing at Ricky's Festival.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? When you think about all of the bands that are playing, you know, they're at least semi-active enough to, in other words, making sure that you remember that, you know, satellite radio is still playing this song and that song and this song and that song and this song and that song, and bands are still going out, and it's interesting. You type in, or you open up Amazon and eBay and type in some of those bands from the mid to late '80s, and it's still viable. They're still working. You can buy merchandise from these bands. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, and even the festival Ricky's putting together. I mean, they're gonna have people like Tom Kiefer. I think I've seen Trickster's gonna be on the bill. Extreme, Saigon Kick, all these great bands that have kind of they're still out there, but not quite as big as they were, but they still got an audience, and I think that's a great thing that they're finally putting a festival like this out out this way together.
Well, and we're all still alive, and a lot of us have families and kids, and the kids are grown and they grew up loving it, and they're going to turn their kids onto it. It's the same thing. I mean, the Beatles are not going to die.
Yeah.
For the same reason.
And I understand you guys are going to be taking part in the Monsters of Rock cruise next year. How excited are you about that?
Yeah, we didn't do the one this year, and now they're doing two. They're doing an East Coast and a West Coast, and we've only done the East Coast one.
Oh.
That's fine.
Okay.
But we're on the East Coast. Shredders from the Deep, I think, is the theme that they're using this year out of Miami. So yeah, we're excited to be back on that. That is a great fun time.
That's cool. And I was wondering, with all these great projects you have going on at the same time, do you ever feel like you're competing with yourself in the sense you must be checking out like kind of which album is selling the best and all that, or it's got to be great fun, but
no, because none of them sell very well.
But then again, you got
I already know that none of them are going to sell very well. They'll sell enough to buy some, a tank of gas.
Yeah.
They'll sell enough to buy dinner, and we sell some merchandise at the shows, and everybody gets $100 or something like that, and it's not really about the money and trying to be a huge rock star. It's about trying to write good material that's fun to play on stage in front of people. But it's important to remember also the shows that you want to do there needs to be a reason for you to do the shows. Like, for example, Evil United, we just were honored to share the bill 2 shows in Texas with Armored Saint and Saxon.
Wow.
And both nights we were, over the weekend of shows, the 2 shows that we did, we played for over 1,000 people, and our new record came out in freaking September of last year.
Wow.
I mean, so we were late in the game in promoting that, but we sold all of our merch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so let me ask, that's great. Yeah.
Since the fucking record came out.
That's great to hear.
It's all worth it.
Yeah.
It's all about quality and not quantity.
That's great to hear, because again, you're a guy who's been doing this for quite a while, and and like I said, you can tell in just talking to you that you love what you do, and what keeps you going though, really, because it's just loving what you're doing. Because I think it's great to hear, like
I'm obsessed, man. I still have Kiss posters and shit on my wall. I'm a freak.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a diehard.
I just love it.
Yeah,
my family, my wife puts up with it. And I teach music to kids. It's my day job. I love it. I absolutely love it. Because
like you got some of these other bands, like for example, Quiet Riot. They just put out an album with Jizzy Pearl, but then they just originally offered it up as a download, and then I guess they decide, everybody just stealing it, and we're just going to take it off all the sites. We're not going to sell it anymore. We're not going to make any physical copies. We're not making any money off it. So to me, what's the point of putting something out there if you're not going to really put it out there? Give the fans a chance. So I think it's great, because I'm an old school guy like you, Jason. I love bands that are still putting out CDs, because I'm a guy, I love to hold it in my hand. I mean, I miss the days of going to Tower Records and checking out all the new releases. As great as technology is, I think it's also got a downside as well.
Definitely. I think that you said that very well. I like it that vinyl is sort of making some sort of above ground comeback.
Yeah.
I don't think that it ever really went away.
Yeah.
But I think that I call it an above ground. People are connecting with vinyl again, because all the cool kids are
getting it.
Got so cool again that it's back above ground. And so, all of the pressing plants are busy again, and it's crazy. And Keith has a new record out coming out on vinyl called Bulldozer, and the last Evilly United came out on vinyl.
Oh, cool.
If I were ever to make a new Dangerous Toys record, I would definitely put it out on vinyl.
Oh.
I don't know if it would be, I don't know if it would sell to the same type of rabid rock fan that the first album did, because we're not the same person that we were that long ago. So the songs may not be happening.
Oh, wow.
That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
You mentioned the new Quiet Riot record.
Yeah.
Is it any good? I mean,
I see. To be honest,
I don't really know what to say.
I've only.
Quiet Riot is a fantastic band.
Yeah,
But I don't really know if a fan is actually going to truthfully feel the same way about a new record that they did about something that came out 25 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, what I know about it, I haven't really had a chance to hear anything off it, because, again, it initially just released on Amazon as a digital download, and since then, I guess Frankie, he owns a name, and so he decided to take it off because they weren't making the money, and I guess people were kind of illegally downloading it, and he's like, it makes no sense to print up physical copies if nobody's going to buy. But I kind of got the mindset, well, maybe if you did print up some physical copies, sell it at the shows, people might buy it. And it was the type of thing where they recorded like 6 new songs, I think, with their new singer Jizzy Pearl, which is he's a pretty decent singer in his own right. And then they had
on the cruise with us last year.
Yeah, and then they had they had like 4 live tunes that they recorded before Kevin Dubrow died, so they kind of gave us a taste of both worlds. But a lot of people didn't get a chance to hear about it. It's a shame, and that's why I think it's great that a guy like you still out there, releasing new material for people.
Well, even though it may not be the right band, I mean, Dangerous Toys is the most popular band that I'm in, and it kind of irks some of the hardcore fans that they want to buy the new record, whether it's good or not. They want to buy it, and they can't, because maybe I have a bad attitude about it.
Yeah. Well, that's those
maybe I'm afraid no one's going to buy it.
Yeah.
You're just telling me the story about Frankie pulling the new Quiet Riot record because no one's buying it. They just want to steal it.
Yeah.
Why are they not buying it?
Yeah, but then
is it not good enough to go buy? What's the deal?
Well, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, they just have this attitude of of entitlement. They don't realize that hey, this is somebody's life, this is somebody's work that they spend time making. People just don't get that, unfortunately.
We've already been through this with Lars. Lars already saved us. Lars was our crucifixial Jesus years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I got checks in the mail that I never would have gotten if he wouldn't have gone up against Napster.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that we're starting to repeat ourselves now, and it's just too bad, that there's so much technology out there that's, Metallica has the lawyers to be able to put people down for giving away Metallica songs.
Yeah. And now,
Frankie don't.
Yeah. And now let me ask you, because again, you got the diehard Jason McMaster fans where anything you put out, they're gonna want to buy. And I was curious, when you first formed a band, Broken Teeth, because that's probably the other band that you're mostly known for. They got a real strong AC/DC vibe. Ops. When you formed that band, did you set out hey, I want to have a band that sounds nothing like Dangerous Toys? Was that something that you knew you wanted to do from the get-go?
Not necessarily like that. It was more the other thing that you keep saying. I want to form a band.
Yeah.
That takes what AC/DC used to sound like and mix it up with AC/DC everything.
And being
I want it to sound like AC/DC all the time, even when it kind of sounds like Motorhead, Judas Priest, and Aerosmith. I still want it to sound like AC/DC. So writing riffs and lyrical content that is very reminiscent of all 4 of the bands I just mentioned, and making it still have a vibe that's very AC/DC in the product and the way that it looks, the way that it feels. It's a 5-piece band. Is it Brian Johnson? Is it Bon Scott? Is it Rob Halford? Is it Lemmy? Is it Steven Tyler? Is it all of those people all rolled into one? Because those are all my favorite people,
Yeah, and on that note, I got to ask you because you got a pretty high range yourself. So how do you keep your voice in shape?
Well, I sing a lot.
Uh-huh.
I'm teaching a lot. So, it's kind of, you just have to stay in shape.
Uh-huh.
The more you use it, you have to be careful. You have to know how hard to push, stay healthy.
Okay. And I know you're very busy, so I'm going to get ready to let you go. But before I do, I wanted to ask you, have you ever thought putting together like a documentary, something where you show people different aspects, from when you started up to this point, different things you've done, like a documentary movie or anything? Is that anything that would interest you?
Definitely.
Yeah, that'd be a cool thing, I think, because it'll be a lot for people to check out. And you seem like you're really a band guy. I was curious why you never had the desire to kind of go off and like form the Jason McMaster band and just do your solo thing.
Yeah, it would. I've thought about making a solo record, but it would just be, crazy songs that I would write that I don't think would necessarily fit in a certain place. Well, why would I write a record that sounded like Broken Teeth and call it Jason McMaster?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm definitely a band guy. Even if I write all the songs, I share all the publishing with everybody. That's exactly how Dangerous Toys does it. It's exactly how Evil United does it.
That's
the way that you sort of pay respect to each other.
And that's very cool.
Everything kind of goes 5 ways, yeah.
That's very cool because that's where a lot of bands, have problems. That one guy wants all the power, one guy, hey, I'm a singer, I'm going to get all the publishing. That's very cool. What do you think has kept you grounded as far as like not wanting to, to be that greedy guy? Because I think that's really cool that you're still level-headed and you want to, split the credit with everybody.
Well, if you can't, if you're not making enough money, or the possibility, what if you don't have, what if you don't have gas money?
Yeah.
Or what if you have a car and no one else in your band has a car?
Yeah.
Are you just going to go sing a cappella?
No.
Are you not going to take your band with you because they don't have a car?
Yeah. Again. So you got these shows of Dangerous Toys and.
My analogy.
Yeah, I love that attitude. Before I let you go, Jason, I just want to ask you, do you have anything, besides these shows with Dangerous Toys, do you have any new releases on the way from any of these other bands we've been talking about?
Evil United put out a record,
about a year. Yeah.
So that's available. It's called Honored by Fire.
Okay.
And Broken Teeth has a new record coming out that actually there's been no ads for it yet at all. It's still very, very fresh. It's called Bulldozer. You'll be hearing about that real soon.
Okay. Well, yeah.
And that's pretty much it right now. The toys are just going to go out and play all the songs everybody wants to hear and have a good time.
Well, that's great, and it's been great talking to you, Jason. Is there anything else you'd like to say to your fans before we go?
I'll see you on stage.
Okay, and once again, we've been talking with the legendary Jason McMaster, who I'd like to thank taking time out of his busy schedule to do this interview tonight. And Jason, do me a favor, and when you get ready to drop the Broken Teeth CD, get in touch with me, and I'd like to help you get the word out about that and talk about that more in detail.
I appreciate that.
Okay, well, you take care.
No problem.
You take care, my friend. Have a nice night. Bye-bye.